Emily.
You look absolutely beautiful today.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you on Hey Mama. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Lynn,
Yes.
you're so wonderful. We've seen your work on social media, but we would love to share who you are with our audience. Please let us know who you are, what you do. Tell us a little about your family. We'd love to know.
Okay. So my name is Lynn Waithera Kamau. Kamau, now that I'm married. Most people know me as Ngugi, but I am now in the process of taking my husband's name. So I am a girl. I like saying I'm a girl because I'm a girl before anything else. I enjoy having fun. I love life. I believe life is the occasion. So I try and look on the bright things of life. So I'm always happy. If you find me, I'm always smiling, unless I'm in court and I'm forced to be serious. So I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I am a lecturer of the law as well. I lecture part-time. I am a business lady in the real estate field. And I also do content creation. It started as a passion, but now kind of has started earning me income. So I guess it's also a business that I have. And aside from the career side, I am, of course, a wife. And I am a mom to an amazing little boy. We're now 1 year, 3 months. And it's the hardest, yet most amazing and rewarding job that I have had so far. And yeah, I'm loving it so far. I think that's
Wow, Lynn.
I am.
So many roles for
I know, so
one
many
woman.
hats. Yeah.
Because I heard you're a lawyer, content creator, you're in real estate.
Yes.
I know you're in business as well.
Yes.
Lynn, how do you do it all?
Okay, how do I do it all?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. So at the beginning, it was a bit harder trying to juggle everything. But what I have learned with time, delegating is very important. I struggle because I have firstborn syndrome. So I want everything to be done in a specific way, to be done in a perfect way. And I feel if I'm not doing it, then it's not being done right. But slowly, especially since I became a mom, I realized I need to delegate. So when it comes to my content creation side and the real estate, I do have a personal assistant who handles things on that side. And then the legal side, I have an assistant who handles things on that side. So if I have meetings, etc., she'll always drop me a text. Lynn, remember you have a meeting at this time with Emily. Remember you need to be here. So that has really, really helped. And when it comes to motherhood, I have an amazing nanny. It's not been easy finding one, but finally we are here. Let me not jinx it, but yeah, so far so good. Asking for help has really helped. Before, I was not asking for help. So many of my things had stalled. I even had to resign from my job to be a full-time mom because I'm not trusting people with my child. So it was hard. Things were suffering, including my businesses. But then now I'm back. That's what I've been telling people. I'm back. Yeah. And I'm back because I've allowed people to help me. So I have a team. As I sit here, my third Airbnb is being furnished. And I'm not there. I'm not bothered because there's someone who's handling it. So delegating has really helped.
That is so fantastic. I heard you talking about your son.
Yes.
And every time you talk about MJ, you literally, start smiling and you have this glow in your face. Tell us about MJ. Tell us about his personality. Is he the same as you in terms of personality? And how has it been raising a boy?
Okay, so MJ is amazing. I feel, when people say children are an inheritance from God, honestly, through my son, I have experienced that because before getting my son, of course, life and the usual. We had experienced grief because I lost a very close loved one. And I was just really going through it, until I got my son. And people say, don't place this responsibility on your child to make you happy. But I'm not placing any responsibility, but the happiness just came. You feel so fulfilled, like life has purpose again. So he's an answered prayer. Not a prayer I made because we were surprised that we were pregnant. But I can't say we were surprised because what were we expecting? Anyway, we were married, so we are allowed. But yeah, MJ really has done a number on me in a good way in terms of helping me find myself again, find happiness in life again, which I was struggling with beforehand. Raising a boy, ooh, testing your patience. My patience is usually tested at so many levels because before baby, I was used to having my things in a specific way, like I said earlier. So if it's my vase, don't move it. If you move it, I'll tell. There was someone here who was in my room, but now with a baby boy, he'll be all over dropping everything. Ugh, it's just a lot. But again, it's amazing to watch him grow because the fact that he's breaking something, it means he's learned to walk. He's understanding how gravity works. So yeah, he's really changed me. And also when it comes to, let's say, like nannies and house managers, before I was very strict in terms of, I need my house to look like this. Right now, if my son loves you, that's your main boss. I will struggle through everything else as long as your boss is happy. So he's really taught me patience and to also extend grace to people. Because before, especially being a career woman and just always living a fast-paced life, I don't think I really extended grace to moms. I didn't understand what really moms go through. But now if I have an employee who tells me I can't make it to work, my nanny has decided to leave or baby is sick, I'm like, girl, take your time. I understand. I understand. We'll find someone to fill in. So I'm able to extend grace. Yeah, something I was not aware of before because I'd not lived through it. Until you have a small baby and realize you could have a mom at work who hasn't slept the whole night. You could have a mom at work who's just thinking about their sick baby. So really, they're not even being productive. They might as well just go home and sort that and then come back and give their best. So I've really learned a lot.
Wow. Yeah. That's so inspiring. I know even with my son, he's taught me a lot about mothering a man or a child who's a boy. Yeah. And it's always very interesting because as women, we tend to mother our boys in the way that we understand ourselves through a very feminine lens. So we have a lot to learn from our boys in just allowing them to really grow and become the men that they need to be.
No, it's true, yeah. And like sometimes I watch my husband playing with him and I'm like, don't do that, you'll hurt him. And then my son is laughing and turns looking at me like, okay, why should we stop what we are doing? So yeah, like you said, it's a lot of unlearning.
Right.
Yeah, and realizing this is a boy, he'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. You mentioned that you have lots and lots of help. So you have systems and structures in place that support you and what you do. And you mentioned that you have gotten to the place where you are very grateful that you have a wonderful nanny now.
Yes.
In terms of, finding help to support you in terms of caring for your child, what has that journey been like? And when you talk about a good nanny, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so the journey has not been the easiest. It's been a lot of trial and error. And also, not because the nannies were bad, but because also I needed to learn to let go. Because with your first child, I'm sure most moms can attest to this. Oh my gosh, it's, what do you call them? Helicopter moms. Like I'm giving you my child, but I'm like, okay, what's mshikevo? Kaini hivi. Like just sit up, just put this, a lot of micromanaging. So I realized to make it easier for me in my selection process, if I'm going to take you up as a nanny, you need to be a mom. Because I realized the lean today, who's a mom, is very different from the lean before baby. If you gave me a baby back then, I wouldn't really know that I need to support their neck if they're small, or you can't just give them malenge or potatoes. They need to start with like porridge. And so there's that knowledge that comes automatically once you're a mom. There's that instinct. So for me, the bare minimum is you need to be a mother, because being a mother is not taught, it's experienced. You learn on the job. I remember attending so many Lamar's classes, etc. Yeah, it's different. You learn, you will still, it helps, yes, but you still learn on the job. So for me, for you to be a nanny for my child, one, you need to be a mom. And then number two, I try and get, because myself, I'm a Christian, I need someone who's God-fearing. So that at least I know the kind of principles that you have and how you lead your life. And then what else do I look for? Of course, your personality. Because MJ is a bubbly baby. We pretty much have the same personality. He looks like his dad, but personality-wise, he has my personality. He has his dad's stone face at times, but personality-wise, I think we are pretty much the same. So also like a bubbly personality when it comes to a nanny. So at least, most of the time when we're at work, it's our nanny with a baby. So you need someone who will talk to baby, play with them, not just being uptight and strict. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are my bare minimums.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I've been forced to support my nanny also by getting now what we call a day bag. So because baby is a lot now, he's working, he's all over the place. So I've realized, she also needs help the same way I need help. So I've gotten someone who comes in to do the cleaning, the cooking, the ironing, so that she's able to focus on baby. So
and it sounds like you have a wonderful relationship with your nanny.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
She's really good. Finally, I keep telling her, just stay with us until he starts uni. But I'm like, but also pray for me so that I can be able to pay you more so that you feel, okay, there is like career progression, quote unquote, without changing the environment.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. And also praying about it. Because before I walked into that place to interview her, I just prayed. I was like, God, I need you to sit with me. We do this interview together because I cannot keep doing this.
Right.
Yeah, and it worked out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Being a first-time mom, I presume, you had many gaps in knowledge in terms of how to care for your baby, how to care for yourself. And this happens to all women. Usually first pregnancy is, learning by force.
Yeah.
Lynn, I'm curious to know, what has been the biggest challenge that you've faced as a new mom, and how did you surmount it?
Okay. So the biggest challenge, I would say, how new it was, like how new the experience was. And I'm the kind of person who, if I've not read for an exam, I'm not sitting for that exam. You're not catching me off guard. That's always my principle in life. Like, I need to know what to expect. It was the same thing with motherhood. And I thought I could prepare until you get... Even when I went into labor, I was like, there, doing my breathing exercises. I'm like, I got this. Well, it got to a point, I'm like, okay, forget all these classes. I now need to scream. I'm in pain. So I think that's been the biggest challenge of motherhood. The newness of everything. Because you're told, try and bottle feed your baby. Do this, do that. My baby refused the bottle. And then, so you start panicking. You're like, okay, what does this mean? I'll never leave the house, So that's been a bit tricky. And then also the diapers. You're told, okay, use this one. You try it, baby's reacting. Like, okay, now which one do we use? So there's the newness. Let me just say the newness of it all. But then also, a baby is a human being, and human beings, we are all different. We can't have a manual for one person that applies to everyone. So, in as much as there was information out there, I really struggled. Even with meals and introducing food, I'm like, okay, can I give porridge? Then my baby didn't want porridge. I'm like, okay, I was told we start with porridge. We have to start with, so you really struggle through it. But then at some point I realized, okay, there's room. You can try other things. It's not cast in stone. Yeah. So I think the newness of it. And the lack of sleep. Geez. Ooh. I didn't see that one coming, because they sleep for like 2 hours and then they have a 1 hour wake up window and it's day and night. So that was something.
Yeah. It's all of us as moms, we face similar challenges. We have sleep deprivation, we have imposter syndrome because we don't feel like we can keep this child alive long enough for them to become an adult.
Yeah.
We struggle with, information as you've talked about. And I found that when I was a young mom, I struggled to get the right information. So, for example, and I'm in the medical field and I didn't have all the answers. And I remember searching for information from different platforms and struggling to find the right information, For you, what do you feel has given you access to right information? Has it been like WhatsApp groups or social media? Where did you get the right information? Did you get it from, healthcare professionals? I'm sure there's a mom who's watching who's wondering, where can I get reliable information?
Okay. So for me, it's been all over the place because at first, of course, my doctor, we were very close. Okay, I had a pediatrician who we fell off after after baby got here because not because she was a bad person, but she was a bit old school. So if I walked in with a stroller, she's like, no, carry your baby. You need to hold your baby. I was like, wait, okay. Then my baby got colic. So I kept calling. I'm like, there's nothing we can do to help this child. I don't think this baby should be suffering so much. And she's like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. So I realized, okay, that's fine, but I don't belong to that school of thought. So I had to switch and find a doctor who was more accommodating to my approach to motherhood. So we did find another doctor who's been amazing. And he's the one who tells you, boil chia seeds, put chamomile. It will help you calm down. And that's the kind of, do I say attention or help that I needed? And I realized medics are very different. There are those who are, okay, can we get the job done? We're not here to be friends. We're not here to do. And I feel like my husband is kind of like that. He's by the book. We need to do this. We need to do this. He is more of a problem solver. He's not the one to offer you hugs, like when it comes to medical advice and all that. But then for me, that's what I was looking for. So I kept telling him, babe, we need to find a nice pediatrician. And he was like, but she's good. I'm like, no, until I found and then he used to make fun of me. He's like, finally, now you're happy. There's someone who encourages you to take chamomile tea. I'm like, yes. And it's helped me because as a mom, I realized you need reassurance. And you don't even realize that you need it because sometimes you panic. This baby has colic, is not sleeping. What can we do? The doctor will be like, okay, try Infacol, try take chia seeds, try do this. Whether it works or not, the fact that you're trying to help me solve this problem really means a lot. So for me, my pediatrician really helped. The other platform I used was YouTube. Yeah, I learned a lot. Like would go with milestones at 3 months. Why is my baby crying? Why does my baby hate tummy time? And you get all the information on there. And I'll shout out It's Waidera. That's her name on Instagram. That girl really walked with me. And she didn't even know that she was walking with me this journey because her son is older than my son. So I'd watch her stuff and she's like, oh, we are finally 6 months. We're trying out food. I'm like, oh, okay, it gets easier. They'll be eating and they'll sleep longer hours. So that was I'd feel encouraged. I'd be like, okay, they've gotten there. We'll also get there. So it helped me look forward to the milestones. But I'd say, yeah, just do your research. And social media, online, YouTube, it really helps. Because again, you can't keep bothering your doctor with, oh, the baby has not turned yet. Should I turn? They're also busy. But then you check on YouTube and you'll realize by 6 months, by 8 months, it's at the milestone. Sometimes they might delay. So yeah, that's social media, my doctor. Other moms as well. Family, yes. But then again, family can also bombard you with too much information. Eat njahi, eat this, do this, take porridge. And then they don't realize that then the gas gets to your baby. And then now you have a colicky baby. So you're wondering, okay, this is counterproductive. So you also need to be wise to know what can I take in, what will I not take in. And fine, we are new moms. We don't have the knowledge. But one thing I learned is that mommy knows best. Because if I feel my baby has a stomach ache, imagine it's a stomach ache. And we'll go to hospital and it will be a stomach ache. So I've started trusting myself. If I feel, no, that's not good for my baby, I won't take that, then I just don't take it. It's fine, I'm a first-time mom, but it's my son. So yeah, I get to decide. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's so interesting. I love what you said. Mom knows best.
Yeah, mom knows best.
The idea that the maternal instincts can be a good compass to know how to, care for your baby and progress in your motherhood. I love that. I also presume that as you were navigating your challenges and trying to figure out, who is lean in the midst of all these roles that I need to execute, there was need for self-care or there has been need for self-care.
Yeah.
Lynn, what does self-care look like for you?
Okay, so self-care for me looks like travel. So traveling really, I don't know, it just does something to me because When I travel, I'm able to really, really detach, because if I'm in the Mara and you've been arrested, honestly, there's really nothing I can do for you. So I find that to be my version of self-care. And then also when you travel, you're able to delegate a bit. Like food it's someone else's business to know what we're eating for dinner, what we're eating for lunch, what we're eating for breakfast. So for me, I find that very, very fulfilling. And of course, we'll go with baby. I don't leave baby behind. Yeah, so I'll say self-care for me is travel. Because fine, I can get a massage, etc., but I'll still go back home, or my phone will be ringing. I'll find 10 missed calls. But then when I travel and travel far, I feel I'm able to really, really detach.
Yeah, and become rejuvenated.
Yeah.
I love what you said about taking your child with you when you travel.
Yes.
I think there's this notion that self-care must be developed and enjoyed aside from our children, where we have to leave them behind with the nanny or whoever is helping us in the house, and then go far away, as if to escape the torture of parenting.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, that you travel with your child, because it's in that travel that your child also experiences you,
Yes.
right? Has that been your experience?
Yes, that has been my experience. And I've never looked at it as I need to escape from my child. And actually, even with the nanny, it's because I need to work that I have the nanny. If it was up to me, we could all be going together. And for the longest time, we used to go to the office. I have a cot and a mat in my office. So my clients walk in and like, oh, there's a bed. I'm like, yeah, that's for my son. So that if there are times I feel, okay, it's not a very busy day at work, we can all go together. And he also needs to enjoy life. I mean, this is your child. Why are you running away from it? I know, I understand you need a minute sometimes. But then if you can be in an environment where you have someone else making the food, cleaning the rooms, as is the case in hotels, then you're really not overwhelmed. Yeah, and you also get new experience. Like, I'll give you an example. We went to Giraffe Center with my son. And from that, most people are like, oh, he's so young. Doesn't even know what giraffes are. But trust me, giraffes are his favorite animals to date. Yeah, so they are taking it in. They are enjoying the experience as well. So yeah, for me, self-care is baby being with me as well.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm at peace. Because I'll be on holiday. I've left the baby constantly on my phone looking at the CCTV. So I'm not really getting the break I need. But if we are together, then I also have peace of mind. Yeah.
Wow, that's so wonderful, Lynn. Lynn, I wonder, in your influencer journey, I'm sure you've met very many people, and I'm sure there's a reason why you got into influencing in the first place. Could you share with us one moment or the most rewarding moment in your influencer journey when it comes to relating and connecting with people? Whether that's with other mothers or other influencers. Yeah.
I'd say being able to pay it forward, because, like I said, I got a lot of information from social media. So when Jiru realized she was pregnant and she reached out to me, I was like, oh, this is so, finally I can help another mom, and being able to walk with her and just have conversations around motherhood, what to expect, what to do. It felt so fulfilling that I can pay it forward, because I also got information from other moms on the platform, and now seeing that, I've been able to help someone else, it really made me feel nice. I was happy to do it.
Yeah. And I'm sure she'll watch this and say, oh,
Hi,
this is so
Wanjiru.
wonderful. Hi, Wanjiru.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to moms who are navigating very demanding careers? Someone could be a lawyer like you. They could be in, even just the informal sector, and they're struggling because they have to work very many hours to make enough for their families. What advice would you give to moms who are navigating their careers and motherhood and all these other demands that we place on women, really, to help them become more resilient?
The one advice I'd say is you can have it all. You can have it all. I know we are told we have to compromise, you have to give up this. I don't believe in that. I believe you can have it all. How you have it all may vary. For example, When I gave birth to my baby, went on maternity leave, and 3 months were done, I needed to go back to the office. I was like, oh my God, I can't. So I had to take my leave days, 4 months. 4 months ended. I need to go back. I'm like, I'm still not ready, but I had to go back. So I'd be at work, constantly looking on my phone to see the CCTV, because leaving your newborn baby with a stranger, it's tough. So baby wasn't, I remember there's a time baby, I think we needed to go to the clinic. So I tried getting leave days. I'm like, oh, I can't come in tomorrow because of this and this. I'm like, oh, Lynn, you've exhausted your leave days. And I was like, no, I don't think this is what I want for myself. So I just prayed and told God, you know what, I need a sign. I need to know what the way forward is, because currently I'm not happy. And I really loved my job at the time. I'd stayed there for 5 years, but then I was like, no, it's no longer working for me. So I told God I need a sign. Then my brother sent me this song by Christina Shusho of Kushusha Nyavu. And I was like, you know what, that's my sign. That's my sign. I remember that day I was not going to work because we were traveling. So I just told my husband, okay, babe, I'm coming. I didn't even tell him what I'm going to do. I was like, I'm coming. So I went to the office, typed my resignation letter, printed it, signed it, and took it to my boss. And she was like, okay, why? I was like, I just need time with my baby. She was like, okay, is there something we can do to maybe accommodate you more? I was like, no, I just need to be at home with my child. So I go back home and I'm telling my husband. He was like, okay, so where had you go? I was like, well, I've resigned. Like, what? You didn't think you needed to tell me? I was like, I just feel I can't do this anymore. So that's something I had to sacrifice, of course, being a mom. So my husband was shocked that I had just resigned, and also because I hadn't prepared him for it. I'd not prepared myself for it. But before that, I'd been asking people, what do you think I should do? And there was, don't quit. You just got a small baby. You need the money, etc. But it wasn't making sense for me. And I just took the bullet. I was like, you know what? We are not too many. You'll be able to meet our needs just in case we get there, And fast forward, God really did provide, because that was December 1st, because I told myself, I cannot start a new year like this. So come January, then brands started reaching out. And they're not reaching out because of me. They're reaching out because of MJ. They want to give MJ a job. So I was like, what? God, what? And they were paying me, or rather paying MJ, quote unquote, the same amount I was earning at my office. So I was like, you see what God does provide, I was honestly so excited, because I now had the peace of mind and I could stay at home, and still, like, the little bills that belong to me were met. And I guess I do understand the privilege of having the comfort of knowing, just in case things go back bad, my husband can handle it. But then again, the main backup plan was God. And he really did show up for me and for my baby. And then I joined my friend. We started our own law firm. We had been talking about it, but then we're not started. So we did start. And it was very interesting, because so many, even my relatives, and I kept asking them, you guys, why were you not giving me work when I was employed? Because immediately I became self-employed. Now my uncles, my parents, they're giving me work. And God went opening doors, etc. And it's ended up being the best decision I ever made, because now I work on my own timeline, and there are certain things I've decided. I'm like, I will always, so help me God, be the first person my son greets in the morning. So when he wakes up, I'm the one to pick him from his bed, change his morning diaper, and always be the one to bath him. So I've never delegated that to anyone else, and also feed him his last meal. So regardless of how overwhelming my day is, I know in the morning I need to do this, and in the evening I have this task that's waiting for me. Mm-hmm. So that flexibility is honestly unmatched. And so if I'm to tell any mom who's wondering how to juggle things, imagine being a mom is a job. And being a mom, you're actually doing, I don't even think you're doing, even judges don't work as hard as you do. You're honestly doing an amazing job. And that in itself is something. Because I remember I struggled a bit with myself, because I kept feeling, my career is on hold. People are progressing. Is this the right decision? Am I missing out on something? Maybe I'd have gone for a meeting. I'd feel so helpless at some point. But then I realized, you know what? I'm bringing up a human being, not many people can do that, just moms. Of course, there are dads who do it, but then mainly what I was doing is I was raising a human being and keeping this person alive, which is a lot of work to begin with. And I remember that struggle was so much so that 2 days after I was discharged from the hospital, I was like, I need to work. Why am I just sitting here? Like, the sun has risen and set and I've done nothing. So I started sending emails and my father-in-law was like, why am I receiving an email from you? Aren't you supposed to be on maternity leave? And I realized I couldn't handle it because the next day I got sick. My blood pressure went up. I had to be rushed to hospital and I realized, okay, Lynn, you need to slow down. You honestly, there's a reason we are given maternity leave. So for any mom, I know you might feel like, oh, I'm taking a step back from my career. Imagine your work will be there tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. And the milestones that I have made, having started my own profession and my own business, I would not have made them if I worked where I was working for 5 years. So there's really nothing that I've missed out on. So I tell all the moms, you can have it all. You'll just learn how to go about it. Delegate, take a break when you need to take a break. And always remember your main and most important job is being a mom. So if things don't align, they step aside.
Wow, that is so special, Lynn. I'm sure there's a woman watching this show. She's really craving encouragement. She's going through the thick of it all.
Yeah.
What encouragement would you give her right now?
I'd tell her that it gets better. It honestly does get better. And I feel like that's one thing I wish I had someone whisper in my ears, that Lynn, it gets better. Because I remember when we were struggling with sleep, like babies waking up every 2 hours, I was like, oh my God, will this be my life forever? Like it felt there's no end in sight. And right now, I put baby in his crib and I'm like, MJ, sleep, close your eyes. And he closes them and sleeps. And he's just 1 year. So just having that in the back of your head, it's hard now, but it gets better. It gets better. And also remembering that this baby doesn't know much. This world is new to them. You're all that they know. So even as they cry, they're crying because they need you to comfort them. So sometimes it would be so hard for me. And then I remember, okay, it's just me that they have. Like I really need to help them also navigate this world. And ask for help. Ask for help. Sometimes we feel like, why can't this person tell himself to help me? Why can't this person do this? Why can't you just see I'm struggling and, But then they've never been a mom. They've never been in your shoes. They don't know what you need. Maybe they assume you want to just hold your baby yourself. So just be brave enough and ask for help. And I realized when I ask for help, people are so excited to help, So just ask and you'll never know. The answer is always no unless you ask.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
The answer is always no unless you
Ask.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn, for joining us on Hey Mama.
Thank you for having me.
We loved this show. I think it's definitely going to help lots and lots of women.
Yeah.
And you continue to inspire so many women, even on your social media channels.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to share this episode with the world.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.